PR agent who will be part of this lawsuit. That was Blake Lively's. Blake Lively will be sued, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
The latest chapter in the feud between It Ends With Us co-stars Justin Baldoni and Blake Lively.
So Baldoni is now suing the actress, her husband Ryan Reynolds, and others as well, for what he says is a smear campaign to ruin his name and his career.
Do you think Blake fell in love with Justin? I think that she felt scorned by him in some way, whether he didn't like her creative suggestions. But what I do know and what I really feel firmly and strongly about is that Justin is a good guy. I think that his intentions were good, and I think that I don't believe that he acted inappropriately. Blake really felt like she was being harassed. Some of her behavior didn't really add up to that with how comfortable she felt with Justin and the way that she spoke to him. That's not to say that you have to behave like the perfect victim if you are victimized, if you're hurt, but it strains credulity, as we always say.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie.
A sinister PR move. Blake Lively then moved 11 days later to file a lawsuit. So now she has filed a lawsuit. And I don't think she ever wanted to do this. I think she genuinely wanted this to be a PR move, and she wanted to leak it to the New York Times. She thought the public would take her side with no questions asked. And instead the public is saying, no, we have a few questions here. And Justin Baldoni is going all the
way. Liv's legal team has just taken a major hit. Her own lawyer has suddenly quit. And the reason, absolutely shocking, with new details surfacing about her legal battle with Justin Baldoni. It seems things aren't as clear-cut as they appeared. What went down behind closed doors? And why is her lawyer turning against her? Let's break it all down. Blake Lively once captivated audiences with her charm racing red carpets and magazine covers, embodying the picture of a style icon with a down-to-earth personality. But things took a sharp turn when she became embroiled in a whirlwind of allegations tied to her involvement in the film adaptation of It Ends With Us.
I think that if Justin was a genuinely bad guy, we'd be hearing from all the women coming out of the woodwork who'd experienced him being creepy in the past, right? Like, why has no one else come forward? Right. Just feels kind of very weighted on the side of everyone has known that Blake Lively and Ryan.
And how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin. There's a number of different
This text from Blake Lively is insane. If you knew me in person longer, you'd have a sense of how flirty and yummy the ball busting would play. It's my love language, spicy and playfully bold, never with teeth. What?
It's a crazy text.
What are you in?
Directed and co-written by Justin Baldoni, the movie seemed to promise an uplifting journey. But behind the scenes, it quickly spiraled into chaos. Disputes over text messages, counterclaims, and unexpected secrets started to surface, eventually leading to a bombshell. Blake's own lawyer decided to cut ties with her to make matters worse. The lawyer openly explained the reasons for stepping down, accusing Blake of taking extreme measures to sabotage Justin. With proof now coming to light, Hollywood was shaken by this move. It's rare for a top lawyer to publicly distance themselves from a high-profile client, especially while hinting at ethical concerns with Blake's usually cheerful and self-depreciating public image. It seemed unlikely that she would be at the center of a scandal that would push her attorney to this point. Now we're witnessing the shocking unraveling of her carefully crafted reputation, something more dramatic than anything she's ever portrayed on screen. The whole controversy started off innocently enough. It, with us beloved by fans, seemed like the perfect candidate for a heartfelt, visually stunning film adaptation.
Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. And then she wanted to, ixnayed all of the wardrobe choices, because when you're making a movie about a poor woman who's suffering from domestic violence, you want her to look like she has money.
Right.
That Blake said.
That's what she did.
She looks like she has money.
Yep.
And she's dressing in florals. And then she's going on this press tour, pushing her liquor line and her hair care line, because that's what women who are trying to escape with their lives are worried about.
That's what generated her negative press and led to a series of clips of her being insensitive in one way, shape, or form with other interviewers in the past. She has no one to blame but herself for that.
The press tour is part of that pay package.
Right.
You have to show up with a smile on your face and be polite to people who are not lobbing, difficult questions at you. They're softball.
Justin Baldoni came into the projects with big dreams. He wanted to create a film that would truly connect with people. When Blake Lively joined the cast, it only increased the excitement. Fans were eager to see her involvement, believing it would bring even more attention to the film on the surface. Both Blake and Justin seemed hopeful about their collaboration. Justin was known for his positive, heartfelt approach to storytelling, while Blake was celebrated for her glamorous public presence. But things weren't as smooth behind the scenes. Word started to spread that Blake felt like she was being overshadowed by Justin, with him acting as the director, co-writer, and a lead actor. He naturally took center stage. Rumors suggested Blake wasn't happy with how much he had over the creative direction of the film. She was also reportedly frustrated by the way he seemed to shape the media narrative around the project, making her seem less important. As whispers turned into tabloid stories, fans picked up on odd moments. Blake's responses during interviews felt distant, and she'd often steer conversations away from Justin's contributions.
Legal battles. We've got Laura Jarrett here to kind of look into the strengths and weaknesses of the cases. What can you tell from these complaints? These are both sides' story, but they haven't yet really seen a court of law.
Yeah, I think we have to put aside all of the finger pointing and the PR bluster and actually look at what makes a legal claim. And a defamation claim, as you know, is very easy to bring and not that easy to win. We have seen them fail before. The legal standard is higher for public figures, celebrities. You have to show actual malice, that she went about this with a deliberate effort to destroy his career, which is something he alleges. But if this actually went to trial, it wouldn't be enough to just say Taylor Swift didn't like my rewrite of the actual balcony scene, right? He has to show he suffered real harm to his career and reputation.
To that end there, Laura, do you think this is something that ever sees the inside of a court of law?
I think it depends on their appetite to have all of their dirty laundry actually aired out. When you bring a civil lawsuit like this, you get discovery, which means people take depositions. They're under oath. They're usually videotaped.
Both sides do.
Both
like
sides.
It all comes out.
Exactly, because she sued and now he has countersued. We all remember the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case, how ugly that was, everything that came out. That's what we're talking about here. If this actually.
Soon after, Justin's team fought back with what they called the full text record. This collection of unedited chronological conversations seemed to challenge some of Blake's claims. For example, Blake had accused Justin of entering her trailer without warning while she was in a vulnerable situation. But Justin's evidence showed she had actually invited him in, even joking about the timing in a message. This left many people puzzled. What?
Blake really felt like she was being. Some of her behavior didn't really add up to that with how comfortable she felt with Justin and the way that she spoke to him. That's not to say that you have to behave like the perfect victim if you are victimized, if you're hurt, but it strains credulity, as we always say. It adds context to these very black and white scenarios that she painted for us.
It makes you wonder, if you really felt so victimized and so harassed by someone, would you ask them into your trailer while you're breastfeeding? Would you say, hey, I'm pumping, come in, let's run lines late at night? It paints a very different picture of how safe or unsafe she felt around him.
Right.
Then came a surprising twist. Blake's longtime lawyer, known for handling sensitive cases with high-profile Hollywood stars, decided to step away from her case. The lawyer's departure was unexpected, and it wasn't just the fact that they left. It was how they left. Rather than quietly filing a withdrawal, the lawyer publicly expressed concerns about the credibility of Blake's claims. This was a major shock in the industry, as it's very rare for a lawyer to publicly question their client like that. Industry insiders speculated that after reviewing the full records and hearing witness testimonies, the lawyer realized there was a big gap between Blake's public statements and the actual facts. The lawyer's statement was carefully crafted, avoiding direct accusations, but making it clear that they could no longer ethically support Blake's version of the story in private comments to a select group of reporters. The lawyer hinted that after seeing the full evidence, they started to believe Blake may have twisted certain events on set to make Justin look bad. The lawyer's bold decision to step away fit with what had been mentioned in the press about a series of messages. These texts seem to suggest that Blake may have exaggerated or even twisted the normal challenges of production to fit her narrative. Then a revelation from Blake's former attorney sparked even more talk. Public opinion had been split. Some people still believe Blake was the victim of unseen manipulation, while others were starting to think she might have used half-truths to control the media. But when her own lawyer turned against her, it made people question how reliable her story really was.
This was a sinister PR move. Blake Lively then moved 11 days later to file a lawsuit. So now she has filed a lawsuit. And I don't think she ever wanted to do this. I think she genuinely wanted this to be a PR move, and she wanted to leak it to the New York Times. She thought the public would take her side with no questions asked. And instead the public is saying, no, we have a few questions here. And Justin Baldoni is going all the way to the wall on this. His lawyer is already giving interviews explaining just how nasty her team has played this. The lawyer's name is Brian Friedman. He stopped by the Megyn Kelly show. And here's some of the things that he had to say. First, he says there used to never be a claim. There never was a claim until she went to that civil rights office. Take a listen.
There was actually no allegation of harassment until the lawsuit was filed.
Fans quickly took to online furs, diving into heated debates. Some felt betrayed, thinking Blake had lied to them, while others held on to their belief in her, arguing that the lawyer might have personal reasons for leaving or hidden motives for Justin. This new development was a surprise when he'd set out to create a heartfelt film, but now found himself in the middle of an unexpected storm, having to defend himself by releasing private messages. By the time the lawyer's statement came out, Justin didn't have to keep fighting for his side. His opponent's own lawyer had effectively done that for him. In one interview, Justin shared that if it weren't for women in his life who gave him honest feedback, and for him being open to listening, he never would have been. Grow the lawyer's dramatic exit only made industry insiders more sure of what they had suspected. The more people dug into Blake's claims, the more things started to fall apart. Cast and crew members who had stayed quiet before now felt free to share their stories. Some revealed that Blake seemed to take ordinary situations, twist them, and then later use them in ways that didn't match what actually happened.
Sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megyn. Wait till you see this lawsuit. It's all going to be based on evidence. It's not going to be just a lawsuit. It's going to be the kind of lawsuit that is full of evidence, admissions, documents, which prove exactly what she did and how she bullied her way through the process to take over the movie and used her PR people to try and destroy Justin. There's a number of different defendants here. Stephanie Jones will be all over this complaint. That is the PR agent who was supposed to be working for Justin Baldoni. Leslie Sloan, who's another PR agent who will be part of this lawsuit. That was Blake Lively's. Blake Lively will be sued, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. Ryan Reynolds.
One production assistant shared a story about Blake asking to reshoot a scene multiple times for creative reasons. But then, just days later, Blake described the same situation in interviews, claiming that the production lacked proper emotional support guidelines. This inconsistency left people scratching their heads. Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni found himself in an unexpected position. Many people started seeing him as the one who had been unfairly targeted. As more details came out, it became clear that the very lawyer who had once backed Blake was now helping to clear his name. The whole situation has turned into one of the most complicated Hollywood dramas in recent memory, filled with legal twists, personal conflicts. Tension between Blake and Justin doesn't seem like it'll resolve anytime soon, especially with more depositions or new claims possibly on the horizon. But the biggest blow to Blake's credibility may not come from Justin, but from her own former lawyer. By resigning and publicly questioning the case Blake was building, the lawyer has provided the strongest indication yet that the story Blake had been telling might not be as solid as she once claimed. For Blake, once seen as effortlessly charming, this turn of event serves as a harsh reminder in an industry that thrives on perception. The truth always gets put under a microscope. If she decides to continue pursuing her claims, she'll have to face not only Justin's side, but also the lingering doubts raised by her own lawyer's departure. On the other hand, if she lets things fade quietly, it might leave an unresolved cloud of doubt hanging over her future projects. Either way, it's a risky move. As for Justin, despite the stress he's been through, he's now in a better position to move forward. With new projects on the horizon, the public continues to sift through the messages and confessions he's released. It'll likely take a while for a final resolution to come. Court cases can drag on, and public opinion, while quick to react, can easily change again. If details emerge, no matter how everything plays out, Blake Lively's lawyer stepping away has already made this story a memorable one in Hollywood. That single exit really hammered home a big lesson: when the facts don't add up, even the most polished celebrity image can fall apart, leaving behind a series of shocking revelations no one could have predicted. Recently, Justin Baldoni shared a 7-minute voice note where he apologized to Blake, something he did while they were still filming. Joked about how neither of them had the best track record when it came to keeping voice messages short. Justin explained how awful he felt after hearing the second part of Blake's message. He admitted that he had messed up and let her down. He acknowledged how much effort she put into her work and how his actions had made her feel. He also thanked her for being open enough to share her feelings with him, seeing it as a sign of trust.